breast or bite the nipple. Oh, that's my breast. As the leader of the pack, what pack? Are you people tigers or lion? I better go. Hi guys, welcome again to my channel. My name is Akah Otsumba. If you're seeing me for the first time, so in today's video we're going to be discussing the breastfeeding saga between Akah and Claire. They're YouTubers as well, and they recently just got married and they just had a baby about 2 months ago or last month thereabout, and they did a video yesterday that kind of trended all over Instagram, and I got tagged by a couple of my friends, and I thought to myself, why not react to this video? And here I am, and that's what I'm doing. You all know this channel is about motherhood, lifestyle, recipes, and so on and so forth. So the breastfeeding saga kind of concerns me because it concerns motherhood. So let's get into it. So guys, coming from a first-time mother that I am, I remembered when I first had my son, and my breast milk didn't come in for 3 days after I had my son, and my mom would be like, oh, take pap, take this. At the time my friend even gave me some lactation cookies, and I also went to buy some lactation tea and all those things just to make sure that my breast milk was coming in and I was able to feed my son. But for those 3 days, all he had was formula from the hospital and all that stuff. But then I also decided that, you know what, if my breast milk doesn't come in or whatever, nothing will happen. It doesn't, there are children that, that don't even take breast milk right from the start. I have a friend that had a baby, and in 1 month she stopped breastfeeding because she couldn't even produce milk, and I remember then that I hated pumping. After I had my son, and the 4th week I used to pump every night after I had him. I'll pump during the day, I'll pump in the night, because then it was spending the night with my mom, and I'll just pump milk and give it to her upstairs so that she can feed it to him when he wakes up in the middle of the night and all that stuff. But guess what? I realized that I hated pumping, and during the course of all those nights and pumping and giving it to my mom, after the 3rd week, my son started to not want to accept the breast milk from the bottle from my mom. And in the middle of in the morning, my mom would go, oh, this boy is starting to not want to take the breast milk from the bottle. He would rather take the formula, and she thinks that if I'm not careful, he's not going to accept formula anymore, and is always going to want to breastfeed directly from me. And I'm like, well, if that's what it is, because what I realized was I couldn't overthink things, and I couldn't worry about what will happen next. I just let things play out, and I see where it takes us. And as God will have it, this boy literally stopped accepting breast milk at 4 weeks from the bottle. So all the ones that I put in my freezer that I was hoping that, oh yeah, I can stop breastfeeding at 6 months, and then by then I would have had a lot of stash in my freezer, and I can start giving it to him, because that's what one of my friends did, and she had so much milk in her freezer. So I was thinking, oh, my breast milk too is going to be like that, but no, it wasn't, and I hated to pump. Pumping was not for me. So at the end of the day, my son was breastfeeding directly from my breast, and at the end of the day, he stopped accepting formula, so all he had was breast milk. So I guess I was producing enough for him to not need the formula, even though it meant that I have to breastfeed him constantly, but he was still getting enough, and as time goes on, he's not going to have only breast milk. By the time it was 4 months, I started giving him cereal, and I started giving him like the fruits, like fruit purees and all that stuff. Now to the matter at hand. Now to the matter at hand. You see, this breastfeeding saga between Akah and Claire kind of really triggered me yesterday, and after the first 2 minutes I just felt like the guy was spewing bullshit, excuse my French, but he just felt like a whole lot of, and it just felt like it was blowing hot air, and I was just like, what is this saying? And I just wanted to cut off the recording so bad. I cut it off and I started saying it on people's highlights or whatever. People started posting it on their story. People started tagging me and everything. I was like, you know what, let me go back and watch this thing. So I watched it, and I was discussing with another of my friend who was also a YouTuber yesterday that, hey, I think we should do a reaction to this because this is actually pissing me off. And the reason why it's pissing me off is that all this woman wants is for you to just listen and for you to hear her. She doesn't need you putting a plan on her breast milk. She doesn't need you putting a plan or seeing vision that you want your son, your daughter, to be breastfed for 1 year. She doesn't need all that vision. She doesn't need all that pressure. And this is somebody telling you, hey, I don't need that pressure. I don't need you to tell me this. I'm trying to get past 1 day, then 1 week, then 1 month. I want to breastfeed my child from my breast. And you are telling her, oh, no, we're doing this as a team. We're doing this as a... And she's telling you, we are not technically doing it as a team. But yeah, you guys are not. Because guess what? When she's pumping and whatever, you probably have other things to do. You're probably not even home. She probably doesn't even enjoy pumping. But then you want to put a timeline on how she should pump. I made some notes and I just want to look down at my notes real quick. Now, he's having a deadline for how far she should breastfeed. He's telling her things like, oh yeah, the baby is going to start growing teeth and I don't want the baby to bite the breast or bite the nipple. Oh, that's my breast. As the leader of the pack. What pack? Are you with tigers or lion? Abego, you don't put unnecessary pressure on a woman. She's already going through so much. She's already feeling inadequate, like, oh my God, can I not produce so much breast milk? Can I not give my child what my child wants? Can I not breastfeed my child? And then you are here with the timeline of, oh yeah, you have to do it for 1 year. We have to shake in. Man. For me, communication is key, and I kind of really like the way Claire communicated. I like the way she spoke. I like the way she was able to drive her points, because for me that was a learning moment, and I don't think that I'm that soft-spoken for me to be able to drive my point first without crying, second without being angry and just shouting the roof down. I know that she had mentioned then that in the video that their conversations don't go that way, because of course they probably had a whole lot of build-up of arguments and stuff before they finally sat down to dialogue and communicate effectively. But even during the dialogue, the way he was still speaking so like nonchalant, narcissistic, was annoying, plain and simple for me. And if somebody was to sit down, or my husband was to sit down and was talking to me like that and saying, oh yeah, I'm shaking it, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, sorry, I'm not going to have it. She was still talking, she was still able to say, but baby, I say I'll forget baby. I will start calling, I will address him by his first name. I will forget the meaning of baby. I will forget that I used to call him baby safe. Because at that point, that's playing with somebody's emotion, playing with somebody's well-being, because you're already second-guessing yourself already that, okay, can I do this? Can I take care of this child? Is this child getting enough? Am I doing enough? I don't need any husband to come and tell me that, my grandfather breastfed you, my grandmother breastfed you, I don't care. If everybody in your ancestors are not your family members breastfed, I'm not your family member. I'm a different person entirely. I am my own person. What's to tell you that that child cannot tell you tomorrow now after 3 months or 4 months and decide to not even accept the breast milk altogether? What if you guys build a starch of 1 year and after 7 months the child just looks at you people like, nope, Is that amala and ewedu I want to eat? What do you do then? I don't even know if there are milk banks in Nigeria where you can donate the milk to anyway. But hey, what do you do? With children, these tiny little rats, they're not rats, but these tiny little human beings actually determine how they want to be treated and how they want to be raised. I know they'll tell you, raise your child as you want, but at some point when I was trying to force formula in my son's mouth, my son was gagging. He felt like he was going to pass out from just trying to force the formula into his mouth. I stopped. He doesn't want it. These children have a mind of their own. My son would usually eat amala and everything and ewedu. Right now, if I make him that, he's going to spit it all over his body. And he started doing that all on his own. And sometimes I give him something that he usually accepts, and now he just throws it away. So you can't predict them. You can't have a timeline for them. You can't have a timetable. You can't be seeing vision. You can't have vision. If you want to have vision for the bigger things like their color, their trust fund and those things. But when it comes to feeding and breastfeeding and those things, leave it alone. The child will tell you how they want it. You know, and when she tells you, okay, maybe you need to start breastfeeding by yourself, or maybe you need to start pumping by yourself, you find it disrespectful. But you think she shouldn't find it disrespectful when you tell her, oh, have you pumped? You have not pumped. You have not done this. She tells you she feels like a tap that you can just turn and turn off. You're saying you don't mean it that way. Oh, nobody has been through this more than you have been. I beg, Oga, pack well. Okay, I'm trying not to be angry, but hey, you guys get the gist. If you have watched that video and you feel triggered, or what exactly do you think about it, tell me in the comment section. I mean, I also saw somebody's comment that also said, that it feels like 90% of men think that Akah is making sense, while 90% of women feel like Claire is making so much sense. And at the end of the day, communication is key. And at times like this, in times like this, we really don't need your opinion. Women don't really need your opinion. In times like this, she doesn't need your opinion. She just needs you to listen. It's not every time you need to jump up and feel like you have to wear Superman coat to come and provide solution. She doesn't need that. She just needs you to listen. So, Akah, please listen. And stop creating unnecessary, stop saying vision for 1 year in advance. Get through the day first. And stop putting unnecessary pressure on her. Thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. And see you guys next time. Bye.